I'm good.
Good. You've had a bit of time to reflect on that Gloucester performance. I'm not sure if we spoke to you afterwards, but what was your review of that this week?
I think we're pretty frustrated, to be honest, because I think going up there, I felt we had the game plan to be competitive in that game, and in reality, we were competitive. We played for the 80 minutes. We just weren't clinical, and that is the game. We had plenty of ball and possession. We had plenty of opportunities on edges. We had six lineouts within 10 meters of their try line and didn't convert. They converted three of theirs. That's 21 points for them. And that unfortunately it was the game. We have to be critical of ourselves because us going up there, we as I said, we felt like we could trouble them, and we turned a lot of their ball over. We got amongst them a bit, but they were more clinical when it mattered, and ultimately that was the game. So we're not gonna beat ourselves up about it. I think that the reality for us, we've been a lot better than that this season. And we need to improve on that clinical edge, especially when it comes up to that game. And I think, look, it was a good occasion. There was fantastic away fans there. The away support was superb. And so though that happens sometimes for us, and I think that we need to lick our wounds a bit and move on to this week because it's vitally important that we get back on the horse straight away.
Yeah, it leaves a straight shootout, doesn't it? Now it's still in your hands against Van. I mean, what have you made of them in the competition?
Yeah, look, I've been impressed with them this season. I think their league position isn't reflective really of their competitiveness. I think that at home especially they've been very competitive. Most of the last couple of games they've played, Claremont lost by a point at home. They pushed Edinburgh last week. Haven't made some changes as well, Van, from their team that played the week before. So yeah, we're expecting a really competitive game. The likes, we know a few of their guys, Sione Calamafoni, for example, who's been playing outstanding for them this year. We know the quality he possesses. Francis Saili, for example, played in the weekend. Good players, and I just think that they'll be competitive this week with no doubt. And as you said, it's a straight shootout. The top of the table is very fairly close. I think we're definitely the most competitive pool within the competition. So it's important to win your home games, and that's what we're hoping to do and finish off this week.
How much of a blow was that Sam Costello injury? It looked a really nasty one.
Yeah, undoubtedly it's a blow. I think it shook us a bit, and I think that Johan had a bump a couple of minutes before Sam went off as well, so he was recovering from a bump himself. So yeah, it does. I'm just leaving Simon in. It does hurt you undoubtedly, and I'm disappointed of him personally because I think that he's grown into his game over the last couple of weeks, and he led the team well in the week and was prepped to perform well. So I think he'll have surgery hopefully this week, and I know he'll be out for a fairly lengthy time, which is disappointing for him and also for us.
Yeah, definitely. Any other injury concerns heading into the weekend?
Not more than what we had last week, I think. Apart from obviously Sam, we were a fairly clean bill of health. From that game, there's a couple of guys coming back into contention now. The likes of Steph Evans and Tommy Lewis are taking full part in training. I'm hoping that Steph will play some part in the Super Rugby Cymru this weekend to get some minutes under his belt, and then yeah, so that'll be good for us.
The Wales squad was announced yesterday. You must be pretty chuffed. The two rookie wingers that you brought to the Scarlets, both selected for international duty.
Yeah, look, it's great when that happens, and I think that for ourselves, when we scanned what was available last year, we were pretty excited about both Blair and Ellis. But what we saw, I think Ellis especially was probably and Blair to be to many ways was under the radar signing. And that's the got to give credit to James Davis with us, who initially made that spot and done a lot of homework and a lot of groundwork on both of those players. And then, obviously along with myself, then had a look at, bringing them in. But I think that they've both been good, and Ellis has probably shot through well this year. And he played a lot of rugby though, so that's obviously an important part as well. He played a lot of rugby last year for Nottingham, and we knew the quality he has, and delighted with him the way he's come here, and he's adapted himself. He doesn't say much. He's a very quiet guy off the field, but yeah, really chuff for him and his family, obviously.
Tane Pumphrey, not included. That raised a few eyebrows. What did you think of that one?
Yeah,
It's a
look,
difficult position, isn't it, in Wales? It's so
yeah,
competitive.
no, it is difficult position. I think that he's had clarity in what he needs to work on, and that's what he needs to do. I think that he's trained really well over the last 2 days. Obviously disappointed yesterday, but trained after the announcement and today as well. So all he can do his talking on the pitch, I think. And there's areas of the game that he needs to work on for international selection, and he'll go away and do that. And I think that he's a young man. He's got plenty of rugby left in him, and sometimes a little disappointment like this can spur you on as well. So. Uh, yeah, I'm expecting him to bounce back, and expecting a good performance from him this weekend.
Well, I wish you luck. Thanks, Dwayne.
Thanks.
Steph?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Steph. Yeah, yeah.
How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Good, good.
Good. You said that Tane's got some areas of his game he needs to work on to sort of get back in the squad. What are those in your opinion?
And obviously, that's between him and we keep constantly working with him on areas of his game. We know we need him in the game as much as we can. I think if we reflect on his game on Friday night, he was in the game a lot of the time. So I think that keeping him in the game is important for us on the ball because he's a good player. And at an international level, obviously there's areas that they see in his game that he needs to improve. And that's what he needs to work on to get that. There's obviously a few errors in his game now and again, and I think that's natural for where he is in his career. I think he coming into the Scarlets, he hadn't played too much rugby over the last period, and I think he is that type of player, wants to try things, wants to get on ball. So we'll keep working hard on his fundamentals and making sure that he develops in the way that we want him to. And I think that he's going in the right direction. What he does have is a really good attitude. And as I said, sometimes a little disappointment isn't the worst thing for a bit of refocus and also to push forward to make sure that he's in that summer tour, and then he can push on from there.
Is there an update to when Ryan Elias might be fit?
No, not at the minute, Steph.
Okay.
The
You
work in
said
progress.
you said Johan Lloyd had a bump. Is he out to this weekend or is
No,
he?
he's fine. He's fine for this weekend. He's just carried a bit of a bump on the weekend, but he's trained fully today, so
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah, good. And in terms of this game on the weekend, it's stating the obvious, but it is a big game, isn't it? For your fans as well. Obviously, they went through some pain last season, so to have a knockout game to look forward to is something that you obviously want to give them.
Definitely, and I think that if you look at our season, it's really important that you give the opportunity to have those knockout rugby. That's the excitement part. That's the exciting part after the Six Nations, and from that perspective, yeah, it is definitely 100% important. And I think that the pool itself it's a bit it's a bit like the old pools where it comes down to that last weekend. Where the competitiveness within our pool is high. Every team has won games. Not many sides have gone away and won. And that's reflective of the pool. We were probably 2 minutes away from winning him by on one our home game. Obviously, we weren't good enough on Friday night. We need to improve on that. But you win your home games, you get the opportunity to go through, and that's where we are this week. Really important for us to firstly get the win. Anything above that is obviously a bonus, and see where it lies at the end of it. But yeah, we're comfortable that it's in our own destiny this weekend, and we're at home, and it's in our control.
Thanks, Dwayne, and good luck for the weekend.
Yeah, Seth.
Um, Go on, sir. Go on, Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, Dwayne. I'm sorry if it touched on this at the start, but that Gloucester game, was it a case of them just having a very, very good suffocating defence, or your attacking game not clicking as you would like, or was it a bit of both?
I think it's a bit of both, Simon. I think that we didn't attack as we have done over the last couple of weeks. The ball was a bit clunky for us. We were a bit slow and we were a bit stop-start. But in all honesty, when I did review the game, that's what it looked like when I watched it. When I did review the game, there's plenty of opportunities for us out there. And like I said at the start, I think we had 5 or 6 line outs within 50 meters of their line. We didn't convert any of those, and I think that they converted 3 of theirs, and that's 21 points. So no, look, we didn't move the ball like we have done over the last couple of weeks, and that's an area for us that we're a bit frustrated about because it was a good night for that. In terms of our statistical game, in terms of carry meters, etc., it's pretty good. In all honesty, but we weren't clinical, and that's the bottom line. You have to be clinical when you get your opportunities. I think we had a 3-on-1 in the first 7 minutes and didn't compete. So that's the game. Unfortunately, if you're not going to be clinical in those areas, then you hurt us. But look, within that, there's a lot of sides who've gone there this year and have been blown away a bit with Gloucester, and I felt like we were competitive right till the end, albeit the scoreline was what it was. And if we were a bit more clinical, and especially in those early parts of the game, I think it could have been a different story.
You were talking about Ellis there, Dwayne. I think you mentioned Cubby, James
Yeah.
Davis. Did he go to see him a number of times? What was the backstory there?
No, so Cubby obviously is, he's doing the recruitment for us, and he's excellent in terms of having a great eye for the game. He's a student of the game, and he has a great eye for him. And when he saw him, he said, "Look, I've seen this kid. He's Welsh qualified, and I think we should have a look at him." And we did a lot of work on him then. Got Ellis down here as well to have a chat with him to see him as well. So it's it's a long process, I suppose, from start to finish. But once you see something we loved his intent playing for Nottingham. He had a real intent about his game. He had a gliding way of running, and you could see that now. That's starting to come through. We played a lot of 15 actually for Nottingham when we first saw him, and he's been doing a good job for us this season. So yeah, fair play to James is obviously good at that, and spends a lot of time on the laptop. But that's part of of the process. Yeah.
You said it was a signing that went under the radar, and that's probably true in terms of didn't get as much publicity as some other ones. Have you actually been, although the Championship's a good level, have you been pleasantly surprised by how well and how quickly he's adapted to what you would, in theory, is quite a bit of a jump up?
No, in many ways, because I think he has genuine skill in his game. Sometimes you see good athletes, and then it's the rugby nous that probably they need to work on. Where he had a real rugby nous, and that's what I liked about him. He could glide with the ball. He was making good decisions defensively. He could kick the ball. So from a skill aspect, he had a lot to offer, and I think that that's what I probably liked about him more than his athleticism. Now he's obviously a good athlete, but he's got rugby ability, and I think that's probably the reason why I haven't been overly surprised, really, to be honest, because I said at the start of the season, I haven't seen him just one or two sessions here. His aerial work, he gets so high aerial, he's like an AFL player sometimes, an Aussie rules player he's got that ability to get high in a bit like sort of someone like I don't know, Freddie Stewart, for example, for England, who gets high. He's got ability to hang in the air, and so that's what impressed me when he came here. When I saw him first and foremost. But no, he's got a good rugby brain on him, and yeah, I'm delighted for him. Obviously, it'll be a big step up for him, but it'll be. I'm delighted that he's had the opportunity.
And lastly, from me on Vans, I mean, a lot of kind of Scarlets fans won't be that familiar with them. New to the top 4 team, I think they won away at La Rochelle, but they're struggling a bit overall. What are you expecting from them on the weekend?
Well, if you saw the game against Edinburgh on the weekend, they were really physical. They were really physical with Edinburgh. Edinburgh had to work really hard to win that game, and Van made a few changes going into that game as well from their top 14 side the week before. but they were really physical and expecting that this week. We have to be right up for that physical challenge. And that's what we've spoken about. Undoubtedly, their scrum is going to be powerful. They've got a powerful scrum, as is most French scrums, small, etc. So we have to be ready for that. But we've got to get ourselves right mentally to be in that physical battle. We went to Bayonne this year. We probably weren't in it for 20 minutes. We weren't right physically, but then we grew into the game and we managed to obviously snatch defeat from the draws victory there. But and a black lie into many respects as well. We knew physically that we had to be right up for that game. We knew that they'd come and try and disrupt us in this competition, and we did that at home. So those are the type of mentality that we need going into this game.
Lovely. Go well the weekend. All the best, friend.
Yes, right. Thanks.
Just before Welsh, Dwayne, just on the Ellis Me selection, it's a great story, a rapid rise, of course. Is there any danger that Ellis and the like are elevated too quickly, and how important is looking after them, and how important is nurturing these players so there isn't a fall, if you like, after the rise, and selection, for want of a better word, becomes a bit scattergun?
Yeah, I think there's danger of all that, really. And I think that, if for us as a group, when they do come back, it is important because there is undoubtedly a massive emotional spike when you go and play international rugby. And then, obviously it's a very difficult arena at times as well. And, it's being able to cope with that to start when they are away. But when they do come back as well, it's a case of taking our time really to integrate them. Some players take it like a duck to water, some don't, and I think that's an individual basis. What I know of Ellis, he's quiet, he's determined, he's a quiet guy. So that's always going to be the challenge, and I don't really know what the solution, what the answer is going to be until we get to that stage, really. I think you have to treat everyone individually. Some people love it, they go there, they thrive in the scenario. Some people struggle with it. So it's a case of waiting to see how we go. But, from our perspective, is giving them as much support and backing as we can, really.
Bro. Dwayne, beth oedd yr asesiad o nos Wener yn erbyn Carloio?
Bach o roi siardigaeth yn y grŵp, oherwydd ni'n teimlo bod ni ddim wedi rhoi yn gorau. O lot o ymroddiad, o lot o dewrder dyn ni ar y degau, wario ni am 80 munud, bod ni ar y llinell nhw yn hwyr yn y gêm. Ond glinigol, o'n i ddim yn glinigol iawn â nhw yn. So, gaethon nhw cyfleuon cymeron nhw pob un, gaethon ni cyfleuon a cymeron ni ddim. Felly, mae hwnna wedi bod yn bach o roi siardigaeth wrth hyn, achos oedd yn gêm falle ni ymddangos fa mor bell ni wedi dod, a fi credu ar rai agweddau o'r perfformiad oedd ar dal o'i le o'n i'n gystadleuol, le o'n i dda, ond yn glenigol, o'n i ddim digon glenigol.
Y peth da o'ch safbwynt chi yw mae'ch tynged chi yn eich dwylo'ch hunan. I chi'n gwybod os oes yna ganlyniad da, canlyniad ffafriol yn erbyn fan, i chi'n aros yn y gystadleuaeth?
Ie, bendant. A na, mae'r pŵl hyn wedi bod yn un gystadleuol iawn. So, mae'r ffaith bod wedi dod lawr i'r gêm diwetha ddim yn synnu fi o gwbl. A chi'n dim ond i edrych ar y tabl i gymaru ar rai o'r tabloedd eraill. Mae wedi bod yn gystadleuol iawn. Gloucester wrth penwthnos tîm eithriadol o dda, Bayonne wedi bod hefyd, a ni wedi teithio bant i doi lle anodd iawn. A felly bod ennill y gêm gertre yn bwysig iawn, a na beth ni'n cael y cyfle i wneud na i gloi'r pencampwriaeth wythnos hyn, chibod. Mewn dyrrodau wedi dod, os ydych chi'n mynd mewn i'r gêm diwetha a popeth yn eich dwylo chi, o'ch chi digon hapus a digon boddhaol, a na le i ni nawr wythnos hyn.
Yn anffodus, chi wedi colli Sam Costello ar y ffordd nos Wener gyda'i ysgwyddau. Mae'n ergyd i chi, mae'n ergyd iddo fe'n bersonol ar amseru, wel gallai fe ddim wedi bod yn wath iddo fe?
Na, i fe'n bersonol, mae fe'n ergyd yn amlwg cyn chreu glad. Mae'n siŵr oedd e'n edrych mlaen i falle mewn i'r camp a dangos beth mae'n gallu gwneud. Mae tyfiant wedi bod yn ei gêm yn bendant ar ôl yr anaf. A chymod, gath e knock ar y ben yn erbyn Australia, fi gyd i'r gêm diwetha. Di fe Australia oedd y gêm diwetha? Di Africa.
Di Africa.
De Africa, a wedyn, chymod, cymerodd e amser i dod nôl o ni, ond mae wedi gwella chymod ers ni, a mae'n edrych ar yn war llawn hyder, a i ni, mae fe'n arweinwr, mae fe'n bwysig, ynglyn â y ffordd ni mae'n warau, a fi credu oedd e'n golled i golli fe yn amlwg nos Wener.
Mae newyddion da wedi bod o ran chwaraewyr sydd wedi cael eu cynnwys yn garfan genedlaethol. Ellis Mee, enw mwyaf newydd beth. Wel, pryn falle fydde pobl wedi weld e. Wedi wario 9 gêm, fi'n credu, 2 gais mewn 9 gêm. Yr ymateb i'r ffaith bod e yna?
Na, fi'n bles iawn e fe, yn amlwg, mae wedi bod yn... Mae wedi bod ni wedi arwyddo fe o Nottingham yn y haf. Mae fe chwaraewr sydd wedi setlo mewn yn dda iawn dyn ni. Mae chwaraewr sy'n ymwybodol o'i dalent e a beth mae fe'n gallu neud. A fi credu bod pawb wedi bod yn bles iawn a'i berfformiadau fe. Dyw e ddim yn edrych fel bod e'n cael ei trwblu llawer. Mae fe'n boi sy'n llawn egni ar y ca, mae fe'n deall y gêm. Mae wedi wario lot o rygbi dros y blynyddoedd diwetha, a bles iawn bod e'n cael y cyfle. Fi'n siŵr bod ei dili fe'n browd iawn ohono fe hefyd, a i cymeryd y cam falle iddo lawr. Fi'n gwybod oedd da fe peth interest lawr lan draw y Lloegr. A i cymeryd y cam i ddod i gynrychioli Cymru. Mae fe'n gam fawr y fe, a fi'n falch bod e wedi gwneud e, a mae'n talu pwyth i ni bod ni wedi cymryd y ffaith bod ni wedi arwyddo fe, a wedyn mae'n dangos falle bod ni wedi gwneud rhywbeth yn iawn falle.
Pa mor bwysig yw edrych ar ôl rhywun fel Ellis Mee? Achos y peth diwetha, mae'r cynnydd yn wych, ond y peth diwetha mae unrhyw un am weld bod yna gwymp wedyn. Fi'n meddwl falle am enghreifftiau Cam Winnett yn ffrwydro ymlaen i'r lefel ryngwladol llynedd, ddim yn y garfan nawr. Mackenzie Martin, Max Llywelyn. Pa mor bwysig yw gofal chwaraewyr?
Mae'r gofal yn fawr. Yn amlwg, ni fel garfa, ni fel tîm yn un, tîm hyfforddi, ni fel clwb. Mae'n bwysig bod ni edrych ar ôl nhw. Yn amlwg, mae'r ffaith mas mynd i chwarae rygbi ryngwladol yn emosiynol. Mae'n gallu fod yn enfawr ar chwaraewr. Mae'r pwysau sy'n dod yn gysylltiedig gyda chwarae Gymru, gyda chwarae yn 6 gwlad yn enfawr. A felly pan maen nhw yn dod nôl, mae'n bwysig bod mae mbech i chwaraewr gallu ymdopi yn rwydd. Mae mbech i'n falle eisiau mwy o amser i ymdopi. A ffaith bod ni yna iddyn nhw i siarad, i trial helpu nhw. Trwyddo ni, achos yn gorfforol a yn emosiynol, mae fe'n brawf mawr ar y corff.
Dyw Tein Plymtree ddim wedi gynnwys tro yma. Pa mor anlwcus yw e, a siw mae wedi ymateb?
Mae wedi ymateb yn dda, mae'n amlwg yn anlwcus, achos mae wedi bod yn y 2 garfan diwetha. Mae wedi cael bach o feedback i weid beth mae'n goffod gweithio arno, a neu fe'n neud hwnna nawr. Mae fe'n chwaraewr bwysig i ni, mae chwaraewr llawn egni i ni. Yn amlwg, mae'n y 2 ardal o'r gêm sy'n eisiau gwella yna fe. Mae lot o camgymeriadau yn bellwaith yn ei gemau, ond mae fe'n un sy'n wastod yn y gêm. A fi'n credu bod e'n bwysig i ni cadw hwnna ar ysbryd yna yn ei gemau, ar egni yn ei gemau.
Just un ola ar fan, pa fath o dîm Ffrengig nhw, a beth ych chi'n disgwyl?
Mae nhw'n tîm gorfforol. So wedi gweld y gêm nhw erbyn Caeredin ar y penwythnos, ond nhw'n gorfforol iawn. Ond nhw'n gystadleuol iawn, sgrym pwerus gyda nhw, blaenwyr pwerus, fel chi'n disgwyl o tîm o Ffrainc. So'n gorfforol bod ni fod ar yn gorau yn y penwythnos hyn. Ni'n siarad yn bwyty hwnna'n drylwr, bod ni fod ar yn gorau yn gorfforol neu i cadw. I roi pwysau arnyn nhw, ni'r tîm gertre, so ni sy'n moyn reoli'r chwarae, ond i wneud ni, bod ni ddim yn rhoi cyfle i nhw mewn i'r gêm. Mae disgybliaeth yn rhan o hwnna. Mae fod yn gorfforol yn ysgarmesu, mae gorfforol yn ysgrym ag ati, a gorffen yn cyfleon. Wnaethon ni ddim yna bwthos diwetha, so na beth yn barau ni'n neud iawn a awpon iawn wrthos hyn.